indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Sergeants, Mr. Herman disrupted the meeting during the Pledge of Allegiance. That's the first and last warning for Mr. Herman.
Holy Family Services Adoption and Foster Care, as they celebrate 75 years of dedicated service to our community. HFS, as they're known today, is the oldest.
Increased public awareness of brain tumors through advocacy and support for vital research, as well as education about the impact brain tumors have on the lives of patients and their families, are critical to finding a cure. We are home to one of the leading brain tumor centers in the world, the USC Brain Tumor Center, where world-class neurosurgeons, neuro-oncologists, and researchers are singularly focused on developing new surgical approaches and techniques to ensure a higher quality of life and higher survival rate for brain tumor patients.
Disease, namely brain tumors, and you heard the statistics that impact thousands of patients, thousands of caregivers and family members, and whether they're cancerous, malignant tumors or benign tumors, this is an area where we need to raise awareness.
Our voice is louder than ever. We must be the voice of thousands of Iranians.
Or erased. And that's why we keep doing what we do. So thank you so much for having us here.
Okay, I'm going to call some names. The first one is someone who uses the N-word and rabbi, N-word rabbi, and then Ohio, last name Ohio, first name Brandenburg. Another person choosing to use the N-word, goat puppet, Andrew Grabner, Stacy Cigar Bollinger, Rob Kwan, someone who signed up under the name Trump, and Harriet Elliott. If I've called your name, feel free to line up and identify which name you signed up under. First speaker. I assume you're one of the N-word users. Go ahead.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
I'd like to correct you, sir. The First Amendment allows me to use the word nigger for the record.
So you need to stick to the agenda items first.
Nigger.
You can speak during general public comment if you'd like.
Item number 1, nigger, and then item 17 to the end, nigger. Is that okay with you? Is that okay? Sir, okay? Okay. I got you.
Which N-word name did you sign up under, sir? We have multiple races today.
We are voting here on Kevin DeLeon's motion for the best idea. Who's creative as Kevin DeLeon on item number 1? For convenience and necessity to put a bar on a roof. That's a genius. Don't forget to vote for Kevin DeLeon. We need him back. We need him on committees. We need him on commission. And stop this bullshit, Bob. Kevin DeLeon, God's balls.
Items, sir, not campaigns.
17 now. Am I on the right topic, grow? Is it grow or gross? Because you're grossing me out.
Stick to the items or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
17, I said. Establishing a hearing date for maintenance and operation. Fuck item 17 for the record. Then we go to item 18, relative establishment for Z service street lighting. Fuck street lighting. Then we go to item 19, the Bureau of Street Lighting. Like I said earlier, fuck street lighting. Item 20 in particular, however, is an issue of great importance. That important is a parcel map related to 732 East India Avenue. Not that I care, but fuck that item too. Then on item 21, gross, Mr. Lee and Rodriguez. Is that Mumu Rodriguez here today? Because Mumu Rodriguez needs to know about the responsibility of shooting of a person by the name of Gavin. Now, it's not Gavin Newsom because he's too fucking stupid to be wasting a bullet on. However, the Los Angeles Police Department is having a presentation across the street regarding honoring police. Well, guess what? Fuck the police on item 21. They don't save people. People have been dying at the bus stops. People have been getting stabbed and shot on the trains. America is not safe.
So
Then
I'm
I
going to
go
need you
to
to stick
item.
to the agenda items, or I'm going to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
you to general
asshole.
public comment.
I'm on item 22 with my last 30 seconds before you fucking interrupted me, asshole. Pumpkinhead. Motherfucker. Yeah, Circle K. I'm on 23 now. Fuck 23. It's about beautification. This fucking city is the dirtiest, nasty, ugly fucking shithole I've seen in my life. Get those fucking homeless people off the streets, not in shelters, but in the luxury condoms.
General public comment.
Now, Brandenburg versus Ohio, US 395, 444, 1969, is a presentation by the courts saying that send the Jews back to Israel, save America, I will do my part, bury the niggers. It's not offensive speech. That's protected free speech. Look it up. Brandenburg versus Ohio. Google it. Because if that anti-Semitic, racist, prejudiced motherfucker says that my free speech is offensive, I can just imagine what a nigger like you would do to me by setting me up on a Proton account like those 4 bitches and that fucked up judge, Gary Cunt Ito, from now serving that bitch hole courthouse in Torrance. But by the record, everyone, don't forget, vote for Trump, fuck dumb Biden, and your fucking policy.
Mr. Herman, your time has expired, and also your Trump is well in excess of our council rule. It's too large.
Next speaker, go ahead.
Oh, my name is Harriet Elliott. I wanted to talk about quantum supremacy.
Good morning. So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
I'm sorry, general public comment. The author actually backed down about the teleportation. He said in an earlier book, the Beyond Einstein, that we'd have teleportation in 60 to 100 years. He backed down. So I'm going to take it off my T-shirt. I have had 20 people die around me, all my friends, anyone who's done a favor for me. Or, here is a woman named Ellen Davis. She's an English teacher at Valley College. Of course, I was twice as old as everyone else, but she took a liking to me and always talked to me. The woman that looks, her picture is a big yarn underneath the, she's on Valley College mural. She told me that Ellen Davis suffered a big tragedy, but she couldn't tell me because I'm not a family member. Ellen Davis is dead. I'm going to keep going back. They're lying to me that she's in Canada. She's not.
Okay, next speaker.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
All items and general comment. Where's the council?
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
21 is reward money for snitches, and CD12. Just more money for people to go snitch out their neighbors. Why isn't there ever any reward money if if we have any information on when the cops go and shoot people? Because we never get any reward money for that, but you can get reward money to go snitch out your neighbors, like on this motion. 22 is a Kevin De Leon motion. He shouldn't have anything on this agenda, and his motion should be voted down. He's a fucking racist, and you all know it, and you all just keep approving his motions, and just keep giving him more and more and more power. Same with 23, no on 23. Let's see. Moving on. We have... Can I speak on 27 today, or... But fuck the budget, and you should reconsider it and adopt the people's budget. And we should hear a presentation. You should hear a presentation from the People's Budget Outlay Coalition. Defund and abolish the police. Don't cut city services, other city services. Let's see, 29. Electing Marqueece Harris Dawson as council president. Definitely no on that. Your whole campaign strategy for council president is you have working too hard. You all have too much work. I mean, it's so difficult. 3 2-hour meetings a week with frequent recesses. and a couple of 20-minute committee meetings sprinkled in on the same day. It's so much work. And most of you aren't even out here right now. We're paying any attention to public comment. But it's so much work. 3 2-hour meetings a week with like 10 weeks of recess every year. You work, especially for the amount of pay you're getting. You're not working. So we should have 3 meetings a week. And Marqueece Harris Dawson's not going to actually be a good council president. He likes to cut off members of the public, likes to lower people's hands.
Speaker, you've exhausted your 1 minute on this item.
I'm going to send me to general.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
But they, he like goes in and lowers people's hands on Zoom. It's weird. It only happens when Marqueece is running the meeting and I'm calling in. I have to go and, pay close attention, continuously go and re-raise my hand like every 20 minutes because Marqueece lowers my hand. He's doing it to other people. I don't know if he does it to everyone or what he does, but whenever Marqueece is running the meeting and I call in, I have to keep re-raising my hand because my hand keeps getting lowered. It's only when Marqueece is running the meeting and I call in. So I wonder why that is. But he can't do that. And Marqueece is not a good choice for council president. So vote no on Marqueece Harris Dawson for council president. Kevin needs to resign. You're fucking racist, Kevin. And Paul, you're a lame duck council president.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Morning, Grote. Rob Kwan, I'd like to speak on all items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
For item number 27, this is our budget resolution, and not that you're going to change anything, but just want to acknowledge the absurdity of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse positions at the controller's office when they're actually revenue generating. We are also cutting positions for the payroll system implementation. This is something that is going to have inherent growing pains, something that the Personnel Committee Chair has spoken about. And you're just pouring fuel to the fire. And just want to flag that for when you ultimately throw Mejia under the bus and just ensure this shit hits the fan. On the budget, I think it was just remarkable to see the number of people who came up here and asked why none of you are paying attention. My council member previously spoke about the need for more public comment on the budget and spent most of the meeting talking to Heather. Want to also just note there was an interesting back and forth about grid and the mayor's staff being non-responsive, refusing to report, and the council president said that's unacceptable and that's not the way things work. Well, why is that? Because you actually have the power under Charter Section 217 to subpoena people, including those from elected offices. So you could drag them out here. If they're not responsive, the committee chair could bring them in. It's also fascinating that just last week, our glorious Governance Reform Committee moved forward a proposal to get rid of that power. Your actual power to ensure the mayor is responsive. Absolutely absurd. As RBG would say, that's like throwing away your umbrella in a rainstorm because you're not getting wet. Item 29 is on our council president, and congratulations. The 15 fiefdoms are set to unite under a new house, but remember, the Iron Throne is the most dangerous seat in the world. If this were happening in 2019 or 2022, I'd be a whole lot more optimistic. Unfortunately, the last few council presidents have shown the way the seat degrades the occupant, bringing out the worst in them. And even if it doesn't, you are still reflective of a failed institution. Once you guys get into power, all you care about is keeping that power and fending off anything that threatens it. At least we will have somebody with the temperament to not just lose their shit screaming at the public every day until they turn red in the face. So that's some improvement. Want to just note there's this whole conversation about having more time in your district and fewer meetings. What about smaller districts that are actually manageable? Or what if we actually didn't have 3 to 4 presentations a day? I'm old enough to remember Herb And we had presentations stacked on Friday with a light agenda, so Tuesday and Wednesday were actually predictable and productive. For my general, I just want to note for the progressives around the horseshoe, and not Councilmember Rahman, she gets it. Being anti-corruption is an essential pillar of being progressive. It's not some cute and fluffy thing. An inefficient and corrupt government is incapable of spending money appropriately. Shamelessly corrupted government is incapable of asking taxpayers or ratepayers to pay more when they have zero faith in those institutions. Ugo is a huge fan of a public bank. I am somebody who whipped up the first 3 council members behind that and handed it over to Herb's office. But I don't support the goddamn thing after seeing 4 council members getting arrested in 4 years and seeing the mess at LADWP. That is the biggest, largest municipal utility. That is the example. And what do we have to show for it? A corruption scandal, an ongoing, endless one. So let's not treat ethics as a luxury.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Yeah, the Pumpkinhead gets dumber every day. Now we get to number 1. What a great fucking idea by Kevin De Leon doing business as Mr. Lion. Let's give him a hand. Very good. Yes. I have always wanted to go up to the top of a building and get drunk and barf down at the street. And now I'll be able to do so. Yes, for only $200, including your bar fees, parking, sales tax, and don't forget the 25% tip. What about the drugs? Oh, we'll get to that later, sir. That's off the meeting. No, I'm sorry. Yes, you'll be able to take and shove those goddamn shots down your throat and barf them on down. That way, by the time you get down to your car, you'll be able to pass the breathalyzer, avoiding DUIs. Thank you to Kevin for fighting DUIs. Now we get to more Kevin items. Number 22, a public benefit, the Metropolis Project. Yes, Eunice doesn't know where the Metropolis is. It's right on the border of her district. And, of course, they twisted the arm under the great Jose Luis Huizar. Let's give Mr. Huizar a hand. Well done. Yes, who twisted the Metropolis's arm. Marqueece was there in the back of the room, I believe, when this happened, and forced them to pay $1 million bribe. Excuse me. An engineering special services fund donation. I mean, we don't want to use the B word. And, of course, now we'll go into the 6-strut viaduct soccer field so that Kevin can build a soccer field with the $1 million of stolen money. Good job there, Kevin. And then, of course, now we elevate ourselves. We have all signed up with the N-word today, as Bob correctly pointed out, to honor number 29 as Marqueece Harris Dawson, known affectionately as Huizar 2.0, assumes the council presidency. Now, Marqueece, you're only 1 indictment away from being the acting mayor of the 2nd largest city in the United States. Let's give him a hand. No, Marqueece, don't walk out now. I know the FBI's calling you right now, but you can take that call in here. And this meeting is sponsored by AT&T, by the way. AT&T, reach out and touch someone. And, of course, who's going to be the vice president? Bob could have been the president, but when I released that racist load of names he called a staffer, he blew it, didn't he? Another failed Jew.
General public comment.
We get to the general comment. And, of course, we caught Buckethead over here, known as Pat McOsker. Is that what his name is? Over here. Yes. Doing what? Fraternizing on a motion. His big fat head was caught. I know it's a very large, big 5-gallon fat head. And, you know, with all those FBI agents watching, you shouldn't really be doing that. You should do that over at the Arco Center down in the garage, where the bags of drugs are. And, of course, Kevin is having trouble with his re-election campaign. Why won't you debate in person so that I can see you and that pretty girl you're running next to and debate the real issues? Are you afraid to debate, Unisys shadow candidate? Come on, step up to the plate and invite the puppet. Finally, I give the dress on ramen a 10, but the hair 0. Mommy hair again is no good with that dress.
Okay.
Jay Richardson, general public comments.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
This is in regard to laser fields and homeless service providers. And these almost all service providers for the homeless have these laser fields that guide the human robots when they need to know where they are. Some of these laser fields, unfortunately, touch the bodies of some of the applicants, some of the people there, including the women. And the women don't know where these fields are coming from, these touches are coming from. They don't know where they're coming from, if they're aware of it, and they don't know who to tell to have these touches stopped. I don't believe the police department knows how to handle those touches from the laser fields adequately. I don't believe they know how to do that. And I'm complaining about the touches from the laser fields that guide the human robots as they go about their business.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Daniel Gus, Substack.com. Just general public comment today.
Good morning. So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Yeah. Council members, you have hundreds of empty kennels in LA Animal Services. Mr. Harris Dawson, 50% of the kills in animal services are in your district. Trying to find out why we are telling the public that you never kill for space, but you actually have a planned memo that your general manager, Stacey Daines, approved that outlines the kill plan. Why are there dozens of empty kennels in the Mission Pound? Why are, just this morning, somebody volunteered to foster at the South LA Pound, Mr. Harris Dawson, and was rejected. So why are animals who are healthy and adoptable being killed? There's plenty of space, not enough, but plenty of space, and you are telling the public that we don't kill animals for space. Why was a senior, happy, healthy dog photographed with Girl Scouts suddenly on the kill list until I brought it to the mayor's office's attention?
Caller, your time has expired.
Thank you. Next.
So I'd like to recognize that as a gay man, you're all putting forth an amendment to the administrative code to allow for the inclusion of minority populations being celebrated by the city, which I would normally applaud you for. Yet even when you're duly informed that the city of LA is willfully honoring a man who attempted a coup against the United States, a man who characterizes transgender Americans as, quote, transgender insanity and, quote, transgender cults, someone who calls for a transgender military ban, who promises future discrimination against transgender individuals and doing away with federal health care protections for those who identify as transgender. Take a look at the fascist guidelines in Project 2025, and I know you haven't, because if you had, you'd be speaking up and doing something besides raising a flag a couple miles down the street from an illegally installed city-sanctioned brass and marble plaque to a bigot on Hollywood Boulevard. Google Human Rights Campaign Trump's timeline of hate, and then ask yourselves why you
Caller,
chose...
your time has expired.
Hi, good morning. It's Sean from Canoga Park.
Yes, we can hear you, and if you could lower your voice just a little bit. Which item would you like to speak to?
Item 29 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item.
Item 29, I support Marqueece Harris Dawson for president of city council. Maybe he can think about some things before he becomes president. We usually have general public comment.
You have 1 minute for general public comment.
Yeah, I enjoyed the parade yesterday, Bob Blumenfield, and I enjoyed the parade yesterday. I hope Bob saw me yesterday. I was across the street from Valley Village office. I am so angry with Wayne Spiller and the comments he made on Friday. My brother was in the military. He ought to, shame on you, Wayne Spiller. I'm so angry with you. Yeah.
I heard on Channel 7 they're doing the you have to pay your fare, go in and go out in North Hollywood. It's a pilot program. I heard it's going to be for 90 days. That's good news for me. Maybe I can come back to city council. We usually did testimony at Van Nuys City Hall years ago when I first came in the fall of 2008. I hope Marqueece Harris Dawson would bring that back, because I'm 60 years old and I don't know how long I could get downtown. Might have some problems later on.
Caller, your time
Thank
has
you,
expired.
Sean. Thanks, Sean.
Caller.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to? Private caller, please press *6 to unmute.
Sergeant Duarte, is that Mr. Spindler? I see him making a motion that seems to be consistent with the sound.
Next caller, please.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn from Studio City, and I'd like to speak on a variety of items and the general public comment as well.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Okay. Well, item 22 is a public benefit payment. Looks like they're amending it from December 16th, 2014. I'll never forget, a couple of years ago, I had a minor little chit chat with the new council president, Harris Dawson, about public benefit payments. But in this case, it was a case in which Atlas Capital, owned by the Goldbergers company, sponsors the Central City Association, so very legitimate, returned their Rachel Weezar contributions 14 days before the FBI investigation. You can read about this in City Watch today. Now, was Goldberger in cahoots with the FBI? No. But when I asked Marqueece Harris Dawson about how that worked out, he said, yeah, he had gotten a donation from them shortly thereafter, after he rescinded it from Weezar and put it on Marqueece Harris Dawson's office holder account. But he said, look, why did I take it? He shrugged. I get a lot of contributions. I don't always know. Well, that's not the council president we want. We don't want a guy who's willing to kind of pretend he didn't know, like with the Seabreeze donations to all those characters, including Han and Buscaino, Garcetti. That is the city corruption that we've been fighting against. So with regard to item number 29, Marqueece Harris Dawson's appointment to council president, I don't think so. I think that's a terrible idea. I think that this is a guy who grew out of the hindquarters of Herb Wesson as a complete lackey. And during Wesson's reign of incredible, to Wesson's credit, he never got indicted. Not yet. And Krikorian never got indicted, his henchman. But Marqueece Harris Dawson did exactly nothing to make it better for the people so that we can, and if he does become president, will he open up virtual testimony during the committee meetings that Nithya Raman herself and Yaroslavsky and everybody credits with allowing them to get their progressive ideas forward and push forward by suddenly being able to challenge the malfeasance that Krikorian loves to preside over in privacy. And when I say malfeasance, I mean literally the lack of transparency and accountability when that is, in fact,
Mr. Previn, you've exhausted your 1 minute on item 29. Please move on to another item. Or you can continue during general
13,
public.
Sure. No. I'm going to go to 13, which is the pride flag. You know, people support pride in LA, but to put up a pride flag right in front of Civic Center. Now, are we not begging a lawsuit? Isn't this what happened in that other community? And isn't pride something that we have established robustly in many sections? Do we need to be, this is just a question. You know, I wear a rainbow proudly if I'd like, but I don't understand why the government has to do that when they know it's a dicey area. Is it to stand up and be strong? Okay. I mean, good luck. But we said, let's stand up and be strong to the gun lobby like Krikorian and O'Farrell did to the tune of about $500,000 we had to pay out so they could grandstand and do nothing.
General public comment?
They're not legal. My general public comment, Grote, is that I think we need to replace the staff at the city attorney desk, mainly you and your co-star Issa Gary, because you're conflicted. What you do in the off hours is betray the confidence of the public. So to come in and cherry pick who gets to speak and enforce arbitrary rules about your understanding, Fable 2, I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Guess what? You don't have to understand what we mean. You don't have to understand what we mean. The people speak into the microphone to speak to the public and to the council who are supposed to be seated and listening, which they're not. and you botched the language to instruct the council to pay attention during a fair public hearing the other day. Check in with Falbo or Dion O'Connell, who knows it. And by the way, Marqueece Harris Dawson also popped up during one of those sessions and was hiding behind a pillar talking to a lobbyist. Was it McCosker back in the good old days? I don't think so, but I think it was Arnie Berghoff or one of the guys who was also encouraging his wife to pelt all of you with contributions.
All right, thank you very much. Because this is a vote involving the council presidency, I am going to turn the gavel over to our city clerk, Holly Walcott, who will preside over the actual vote on item 29. So, oh, there you are. So, Ms. Walcott, please.
Thank you, Council President Krikorian. Today's third vote, as Council President Krikorian says, is for the election of the Council President by voice vote conducted in alphabetical order, and this will be for the remainder of the term that ends in December of 2024. Unless I hear an objection, we are prepared to proceed in that manner. As the council clerk calls your name, please state the name of the council member you are voting for to be the president of the City Council effective September 20th, 2024 through the December date in the council rules. Please, Mr. Clerk, please proceed with the vote.
Yes, Madam City Clerk. Blumenfield.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
De Leon.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Harris Dawson.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Hernandez.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Hutt.
Proudly voting for Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Krikorian.
With my best wishes for success, Councilmember Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Lee.
My friend, Councilmember from the 8th District, Marqueece Harris Dawson.
McCosker.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Padilla.
Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Park.
Councilmember Harris Dawson.
Price.
Someone with the background, training, and experience to do an outstanding job as council president, Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Rahman.
With pride, respect, and love, Marqueece Harris Dawson.
Rodriguez absent. Soto Martinez.
The gentleman from the 8th District, Marqueece Harris Dawson.
And Yaroslavsky.
Councilmember Marqueece Harris Dawson.
14 ayes to elect Councilmember Harris Dawson.
That is a unanimous vote. Congratulations, Councilmember Marqueece Harris Dawson. You are now Council President-elect, and I will now yield the floor back to the current Council President Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walcott. Thank you, members. Councilmember Harris Dawson, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you to all the members of the council and everybody who has advised, pushed, cajoled, struggled with us over the past few months to get to this particular day. A special thanks to Council President Krikorian, who's made every resource available so that we could have as smooth a transition as possible. You'll hear more from us later. Until September, expect to see me with my head down, studying as hard as we can so we can be as prepared as possible when we take leadership of this council. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember McCosker.
I do have an announcement. I have a couple of folks who are going to stand.
This meeting is adjourned.